Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, and today I bring you the best Teostra Bow build, the Bow of Light and Courage. This video analyzes the best build for the Teostra Bow. We will analyze multiple builds and compare their overall damage and skills. In addition, we will also take a close look at the weapon itself and why it will be the most powerful blast status weapon in the game. First, we're going to start off with the Teostra Bow Analysis and equipment skills. The Teostra Bow is the first super weapon in the game with the blast element, and the Bow of Light and Courage is the newest super weapon with charge level 3 at damage level 4. For those of you bow mains, or if you don't use a bow before, damage level 4 is the highest level of damage a bow can do. This means it only takes 2 blinks to get to damage level 4 versus 3 blinks, which most bows have to do to get to damage level 4. If you look on the top, that's a Teostra Bow. If you look at the box where we have it squared out, you see that at level 3, you have rapid level 4 for the Teostra Bow. And we have the Legiana Bow at the bottom, where in order to get to a damage level 4, you need to get all the way up to charge level 4, which is 3 blinks. So, less blinks equals more damage, and of course, most other bows can't do that. In addition, this also allows you to charge sidestep faster, allowing you to avoid attacks to get into maximum range and reposition faster. So, having those less blinks also allows you to do a charge sidestep, which allows you to move into range and be more defensive, along with dealing more damage than usual bows can do. Speaking of what bows can do, we also have equipment skills. So the Teostra Bow has 2 equipment skills. Hunter's Unity at level 1, which you get at Forge, and this increases damage by 0, 3, 5, or 10% when there are 1, 2, 3, or 4 players with this skill in the team. So the more players you have on the team, the more percentage it goes up. You also get Heroics level 2 at grade 8, which increases attack power by 20% when your health drops to 29% or lower. In addition, Hunter's Unity is only great at high grade levels and if other players are using it. So if you have 4 players with Hunter's Unity, hopefully all of you have high grade Elder Dragon weapons, because if you don't, that 10% boost is not going to matter too much. High grade first, and then percentage later. Next is Heroics. It's not the best skill to invest in as it's very situational, but if you happen to survive an attack and you go below 29%, it's still something good to have as an extra conditional skill. Next up, we have the Teostra Bow Charge Level 3 at Damage Level 4 Analysis. Now here's an important note. Teostra's stats on MHN.Quest are not accurate. Its values are actually lower and were nerfed on release. So this isn't accurate right here. It's actually lower. However, I'm pretty sure me and no one else in the world right now has a legit 10.5 Teostra Bow. So again, it's not accurate. Its values are actually lower. But despite this nerf, the Teostra Bow will still do more overall damage in comparison to the other status monster type bows at grade 10.5. This is because of charge level 3 at damage level 4. You see that weapon compensation right there? Even if it is lower, it'll just do more damage just because that's how charge level 3 at damage level 4 bows work. With the charge level difference in charge levels taken into account, even with the nerf again, I predict it will approximately do 16 to 20% more damage as far as its raw value damage versus the other status bows. And that's still a lot of damage. And as mentioned before, this doesn't take into account the ability to charge sidestep faster, so you're able to move faster and reposition faster for defensive and movement purposes using charge level 3 and damage level 4 bows. And this brings us to the best Teostra Bow build. This build has Teostra Blast Powder at level 2, and this is good enough to inflict a good amount of blast procs. From my personal testing and looking around, 2 is perfect. Because with 2, we can also get Focus level 5 maxed out, which allows you to pump out max DPS and blast status buildup. You can do Focus 4 and Teostra Blast Powder level 3, but the more hits you get with your bow, the faster it procs. So mine as well have Focus level 5, and like I mentioned, Focus level 5 is also vital because you could charge sidestep faster. So maximum DPS, maximum defense with Focus level 5. That takes priority over blast procs. But with level 2, you still get good blast procs with Teostra Blast Powder. And speaking of that defense, Evade Extender and Artful Dodger at level 1 is a great set of movement and defensive skills. This is a great set, great armor set, looked at everything to it, and it's amazing and definitely the best. In addition, this build also has Critical Eye and Burst level 1 for some extra damage. To use this build, you need the Teostra Bow at grade 10, as high as you can get it. If you plan on using this build, hopefully you plan on maxing it out, or you're just going to 7 5 out of 5 it for fun. The Azorathalos helmet at grade 6, the Teostra Mail at grade 8, the Kushala Dior Vambraces at grade 8, the Teostra Coil at grade 8, and the Gyrototus Greaves at grade 6. And now we're going to make some comparisons. So this is the Teostra Bow best build versus burst level 3. So here we compare the best Teostra Bow build versus burst level 3. Focus level 5 and burst level 3 is the best bow set for pure raw damage. So if you're just looking for pure raw damage, which is going to be the overtaking anyways as you get to higher grades, burst level 3 is the build. However, as we see here, the burst level 3 build barely edges out the best Teostra Bow build in terms of damage at about 6%. So we don't have weakness exploit or anything, we actually have critical eye level 1, so the damage with the Teostra Bow as the best build is pretty consistent. Taking everything into account though, it's only about 6%, so it's not a lot. In addition, burst level 3 would only have Teostra Blast Powder level 1 versus the best build, which has Teostra Blast Powder level 2, which allows you to proc more blast. There is a difference between level 1 and level 2, and the best build has level 2. So I will definitely take that 6% less damage overall theoretical on average versus being able to proc blast more and deal more proc blast damage. And if you want to deep dive more into skills, we're going to look at the best Teostra build skills versus the second top build. So here we'll take a look at the equipment skills of the best Teostra build versus the other top build's equipment skills. And as you see here, the best Teostra build has one more level of Teostra Blast Powder and notable defensive skills. Has a lot more skills. You have a Evade Extender and Artful Dodger along with it, and a lot of extra stuff in comparison to Burst Level 3. In addition, the highest damage build, which is Burst Level 3, barely beats out the best build in terms of damage. So for 6%, sacrificing 6%, you get more skills, more blasting, and more notable skills. It's clear here that the best Teostra's build wins in this department. And now that all that data is out of the way, here we have live hunts. This is the best Teostra Bow build, live hunts, and analysis. And for these examples, I am using Teostra Bow at grade 6.1, which is a new forge, and this is using the best Teostra build. These battles are also sped up at 1.25 times to make them go a little faster. So if I did this at full speed, well, you're going to see a whole lot of trying to kill really strong monsters at 8 stars. So we're going to speed them up, and just to be honest with you, I was surprised at how well Teostra Blast Powder level 2 and Focus level 5 performed together during my tests. Here we have Kuluyaku at 8 stars, and even at 6.1, which is a new forge, it's doing kind of well, and we're able to proc 5 blasts. So this is what I mean, the level 2 is really good. Having tested all 3 levels across 3 different, like a 6 star, 7 star, 8 star, even at a new forge, it's able to do pretty dang well, and I like it a lot. We're able to take out Kuluyaku at the very last second, thanks to that last volley. I also played a little sloppy right there, but despite that, thanks to the blast damage, we're able to take out Kuluyaku. Kulu isn't weak to blast. However, we have a monster that's weak to blast now in the Great Jagras. We're using the same build, Teostra Blast Powder at level 2, and Focus level 5. And if you notice here, we're getting a lot of blasts off. So being weak to blast actually matters. However, I had a lot of people note that they're like, but it does this good to Great Jagras. Well, Great Jagras is weak to blast. And as much as it's an 8-star monster, I get it. The problem is Great Jagras, it's still the weakest monster in the game, arguably. It's the very first monster you fight, and it's on the bottom of the food chain. I mean, you literally seeing Devil Joe. If you play the main series games, poor Great Jagras and everything that could be eaten by it, well, you mostly see this thing, it's its jaws. So it's not going to get away from you. It's going to die, and you're going to likely be able to take out many Great Jagras in front of you unless you just have a really undergraded weapon. However, if we take a look at Teostra Blast Powder, even I'm ulting here, it's still able to do a great job and take out a grade 8 Jagras. So nothing is going to get away from you. Well, something might, but usually it won't get away from you with the Teostra Bow.
Show some mercy!
Oh, you're not getting away! Arrow!
But I was begging for mercy!
And just like you saw in that scene, there is truly no mercy for those who oppose Lena Inverse. No, seriously, The Slayers is my favorite anime. But if y'all know that, you know, and you're cool, and we could be friends. Anyways, in closing, hopefully this video helps you decide whether or not you want to build the Bow of Light and Courage. It's an Elder Dragon weapon, and an Elder Dragon weapon is expensive. In addition, I will be making a separate video for the full Teostra drift smelt build. I don't tend to put those videos together because it would clump together a lot of information, and drift smelting is hard and difficult. It takes a lot of time, can take you hundreds of smelts, and it's an endgame content that's meant to be a long grind, even if you're spending money, and unless you're really lucky, well, guess what? You're not going to get what you want right away, or anytime soon. With that being said, please do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Hopefully your Teostra hunts are going well, and you're having a blast hunting Teostra. You get it? Even though that was a really weak pun, I'm just kidding. You can unsubscribe from me now. I'm just joking. But yeah, you don't have to stick around. But I'm glad for you that do. Good luck on your grinds, and I will see y'all on the next video.